back to diving into watches, and today we've got a really unique review for you today. We're going to be doing a review of the clomage of the DOXA by Seestern of DOXA's 300T, and we're going to be going over, is it worth you spending about 190 bucks on one? Obviously, buying a real DOXA sub T, I think is right around $2,500, between $2,200 and $2,500. Maybe you can pick them up on the gray market for a little bit less. So I know this is an alternative that a lot of people look to, but is it worth your $199? Is it a quality clomage of the DOXA, and are you getting any value for your money? So we're going to be doing a review, taking a look at it today, seeing is it worth your money, seeing is it worth your time to spend the money on a clomage, or if you really want a DOXA, should you just save your pennies and eventually get the real deal, or build a clone yourself, or just buy this one from Seestern. I also think Steel Dive and a couple other companies make one. But we're going to be reviewing the Seestern, because when I looked at the Steel Dive or the Audi Dive, I can't remember which one of them makes one, versus the Seestern, this one looked a little bit, as far as the case and some of the other features, it just looked a little bit better, higher quality build. And I'm all about trying to get the best build, big bang for your bucks. I do have plans for this. I'm not going to leave this the way it is after this review. I am going to mod it out into something way cool. And I'll show you at the end of that video what I'm going to do. But I'm going to mod this out. But I'm going to do a review of this just the way it is, as if you bought it from Seestern direct, and exactly what it is. I'll also go on their website and show you some things they say about the watch. And Seestern, I guess, is part of some other two other companies that basically they make total clomages of DOXA, Rolex, even Seiko. I don't know why anybody would make a clomage of a Seiko watch when there's most of them, the ones they're making clomages are so inexpensive, or you could even actually buy the parts and mod build one yourself. That would be better quality than what you could be. But I know this is a popular watch in the homage, clomage community, and people like this one. So I thought I'd pick one up. I'd do a review, give you my 2 cents on it, because my 8 cents is free, and let you know if is it worth it, or is it more basically ripping off DOXA. From what I can tell, it's walking the fine line of what ripping off DOXA, as far as there is no unique differences that they've made at this watch to separate it from an actual DOXA, other than taking DOXA's name off and putting Seestern on here. But we're not here to talk about the legalities of a fake versus a real one, et cetera, et cetera. We're talking about, if you spend the money, is it a quality watch? Is it worth your money? And is it a decent build for what you get? So with that in mind, let's go over the bench and let's take a review. Okay, so here we are. So when you get the Seestern in, it comes in this little cheap plastic case, which is to be expected with most of these clomage watches. This is where they're going to save their money. I mean, it's nothing fantastic. I think the Audi Dive, I think I have a couple that the Audi Dive come in this exact type case. It's probably 50 cents out of China. You open it up, the watch is in there. We'll cover that in a second. You obviously get a unfilled out international warranty. So again, like I was saying, all the other ones, it basically means it's an unlimited warranty, because without them putting the date of purchase, serial number, and all that, you can fill that out and put that date anytime you want. And then you get it fixed 10 years from now. This booklet looks like it's English and Chinese, and then it's just got for every movement that they have. So depending on the watch you get, I guess you go here and look through your movement, but I'm going to go over the movement here in a second, so don't worry about it. And then I've already sized it for myself, so I already put the extra links in there. So enough of that. Let's jump over to take a look at the actual watch, see what we think of it. So first impressions, the heft of this watch is solid. I would not say that it feels cheap at all. As far as the case is concerned, it is a very, very solid case, and I'll talk on the case back. That is nice. We'll get into the bracelet in a second here, but overall first impressions, it looks nice. It is nice. The hands are not super great. You can see that the plastic, I'm trying not to get it. Let me get this light off. The hands, they're kind of a gloss. They almost look plastic in a sense. Trying to not get that light on there. But overall, they're not too bad. The dial face is nice. So we'll go into that more detail in a second. But overall, my first impressions are the heft is nice. It feels good. It's going to feel solid on your wrist. It's not going to feel like it's tinny or cheap or like this Tavisi feels really crappy and cheap. But I don't know if I'll ever do a review on that one. If you want a review on a Tavisi uh, watch, let me know. I'll do one. I hate this thing. I mean, it was a gift to me from somebody who thought it was nice, and it's crap. All right, so let's get into dimensions. The width is 44 millimeters. The lug is 20. I believe that the actual DOXA is 22. 20 millimeters right there. Lug to lug, right? Lug to lug is 45 millimeters, so it's going to sit nicely on the watch. It's going to sit nicely on the wrist. It is a thick watch, right about 14 millimeters, so it's not super thin. And then the crown, which does have the Seestern logo on it, which is kind of cool, is a 7 millimeter crown. It is a screw down crown. And one of the things I noticed that I did like about this that they did very well is you can actually see the two rubber gaskets in there, right there. There's two gaskets in there, which is very nice. So you know this. I would not have a doubt at all about the 200-meter water resistance that they claim for this watch. It seems pretty darn solid. The bracelet, the glass is a sapphire glass. I did pull out my sapphire tester and tested it. It is sapphire crystal, so you are getting a sapphire crystal. It is a 120 click bezel, and it's very firm. There's not a lot of play in it. One thing I did notice, though, that I think is wrong about this watch, and I'll grab another one here, is I bought another case that's like the DOXA one here because I was going to build one of these and put a non-OEM Seiko dial in it. And okay, so let's here in the back. One of the things I noticed is that when you turn this bezel, the inner ring goes, because the chapter ring is just stainless steel inside, so there's no minute markers in there. The minute markers are between the indices, and they're nicely printed in there. The baton hands are nice, and the little square seconds hand is decent, but there is no chapter ring for the inner circle. It's just stainless steel. But this inner ring, which has markers on it, from my understanding, that should stay firm, and just the outside ring should spin. I could be wrong. And the only reason I noticed this is just because this other one, I have to do a little more research on it. But I'll show you this other one. You can see that the cases are very similar, but just a little bit different. This one is definitely not trying. It's copying the design of the DOXA, but it's not trying to 100% mimic everything on it. You can see these numbers are off here and the difference. One thing, but what I noticed is the inner ring right here doesn't move on this one. It stays, so that you can actually, I guess, mark off, maybe because they're using these as the minute markers. The other one, I don't know, but I just noticed that this inner ring doesn't spin, but the outer bezel ring does. And it's 120 click. And it doesn't quite line up at the top there, but we're not reviewing that one. So I just noticed that this inner ring spins with the outer ring. So I don't know if it's supposed to do that or not. I don't know if, if that's like a deal breaker or not, but it does line up right at the top nicely, very, very nicely. This one has a NH35 movement in it, and it has a 41-hour power reserve, so you get a little over 2 days of power reserve for not wearing it. Seestern actually calls this the DOX 01 version 3. I think it's kind of funny that they're cloning a DOXA watch, and they put their own name on it, but their model is DOX 01, so they're actually using DOX as the model name. I'm not a big fan of this bracelet. It's kind of hard to work. It is milled. It is not stamped, so that's decent. This part is what's kind of junky. I think you can replace these with decent ones off of eBay. or I think you pick them up on Amazon or maybe even AliExpress. You can pick up decent ones of these for like $7 that are actually milled and they're really nice. So I might do that and change that out. It's a beads of rice bracelet, which is very nice. I did notice that the beads will, when I was wearing it, these will lock, so they're not always going to stay easily flexible. They were locking underneath, so they were sticking like that when they're on the wrist. The case is brushed on the top, polished on the sides, and then brushed on the bottom. The bottom of the watch is a screw down case back, which is really nice. It has a really nice it's not lasered, milled, laser stamped wave in there with the Seestern little sea star. What do you call it? I can't think what those things are. Sea star, aren't they? Yeah. On the back, and it says automatic movement SS316. I'm not sure if that's talking about stainless. It's probably stainless steel, 316 stainless steel, 20 atoms, 200 feet, or I'm sorry, 200 meters, 600 feet. And then on this side, we have, I can't read that, S406. I'm not sure what that is, and it does say sapphire. But overall, it feels really good. It feels really good, and you are getting the Seiko movement in it. I think they skimped on the brace a little bit. It is milled, but they skipped there. This part doesn't clip down very well. It is not a push button release. It's just a push and clip. It is a push pin collar bracelet, but it is keeping with the original design of the DOXA with the beads of rice bracelet. I might change this out to a black waffle strap bracelet. I think it would look really good on that. I have another one. I'm looking at a smooth one too, as I'm not a big fan of the bracelets. I always change that. I always say, but overall, it is a decent watch for what you're getting. I was actually very pleasantly surprised on the quality of the build, but like all watches, they skimp in the bracelets. That doesn't matter which one you're getting. Anything under $1,000, you're getting skimped. And even watches that have that over $1,000, they always seem to skimp in the bracelet. I'll give you a wristwatch check here real quick. Real quick, my wristwatch I'm wearing today, and there will be a review dropping next week on this one. Just picked up the Orient Mako 3. This is their version 3 of Mako 3. I'll be doing a review on this one. It's first Orient I've ever owned, and it's really nice. So stay tuned for that review that'll be dropping next week. So let me get this watch on. Let me get this one off. There it is on my 6 1/4 inch wrist. It sits very well, very flush on the wrist. There's no overhang. The way it scallops down here at the end is very nice. It is also, I did point out, it is milled end links, which is nice. I mean, you're getting a lot of features on higher end watches for a very inexpensive price. Seesterns really shocked me with this one. The clasp says Seestern on it. Again, like I said, I'd be changing this one out, but it feels comfortable on the wrist. This one's a little loose. It does have micro adjustments on it. Pull this off so you can take a look at them. It does have 4 micro adjustments, so I could probably go in one notch here. Oh, I am all the way in. So I would have to either go in one more or take another link out for my wrist. But it does feel comfortable on the watch. It does on the wrist. It doesn't feel overly heavy. I think for what it is and what you're paying for, if you picked up the Seestern, you're not going to be unhappy with it. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. And for the value of what you're getting between the case and the movement and the bracelet, you're getting a pretty good watch. I picked mine up off of not off of eBay. I picked mine up off of Amazon for, I think it was like $190 or $199 or something like that. And I'm very, very happy with it. Ultimately, my plan is I'm going to change out the dial to this dial right here. Whatever, automatic Seiko sub 200 professional. This is a non-OEM dial. This is not a factory Seiko dial. And I'm going to put an NH36 movement in it with a date. And I'm going to drop that right in the center and change that out. And I'm going to call it a DOXA. If DOXA and Seiko made a watch, this is what it would look like. So ultimately, that's what I'm going to do with the watch. My plan is to change out this dial. I won't wear it with the Seestern in there. If I'd have known that those hands were that kind of quality, I probably would have ordered some different hands to change it out. But overall, it's a good watch. I think you won't go wrong on spending the money on this one. It's definitely not trash. Definitely better than the Pagani I did a review on. I would definitely choose this one over the Pagani any day. I don't know if Pagani makes a clone of these or not. Let's go ahead and do a Lume shot for everybody real quick. There's just the Lume right there with just the light that's above. You can see it looks really good just with the room looming. You have all the indices are loomed, the hands are loomed, the seconds is loomed, and the pip is loomed. Let me go ahead and hit it with some juice and really get it to glow here. It is not super luminova. It's probably a Lume Bright or a C3, CGW or whatever they call that one. But overall, the Lume is really good. Even if you notice, even the date window is loomed, which I've never seen a date window loomed like that before. I had no idea that Seiko even had a loomed date window, which is interesting. I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right, so there's my review of the Seestern Dox 01 version 3. Overall, yeah, I think if you're interested in this style watch and you like this style watch, but buying the real DOXA is completely out of your price range, then you're not going to go wrong. You're not going to go wrong picking up this watch. That's for sure. 99% of the people outside the watch community won't even know what the heck it is. They won't even care. Just know that 1%, those hardcore watch nerds, if you're wearing it, they might say, "Oh, is that a DOXA?" And then you're gonna tell them, "No, it's not. It's a Seestern," and you just gonna deal with that. But that's no different than if you wear a mod watch with the Seiko dial, etc. But I think you can't go wrong with this one at all. This one, once I mod it, I'll definitely be keeping this one. This one here, I'm going to mod it out with a similar dial like that other one I just showed you, and I'm actually going to sell this one. I got a client that wants this one. I'm going to build this for them. So let me take it back over to the studio and give you my final thoughts on the Seestern Dox 01 version 3. All right, folks, well, there you have it. There is the review of the Dox 01 version 3. Clomage of the DOXA 300 sub T dive watch classic from this, God, I think it came out in the 70s or 60s, the original DOXA. I'd like to get my hands on one of the original DOXAs and actually do a side-by-side comparison between this one and the real one to see what the huge differences are. If you have one and you own one, maybe by another company or the real DOXA or this one here, tell me what you think about it in the context. Did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? Do you think it's a quality watch that's worth the $190, whatever it is, or do you think it's just trash and there's no way in hell you'd ever wear it? Overall, if this is all you can afford, you want a DOXA style type clone watch, I don't think you can go wrong with the Seestern. Yeah, that's why I plan to mod it, because I don't want to keep the Seestern name and I want to mod it out and change it. I always like to modify everything from watches to cars to everything. So with that, thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button. I appreciate everybody in the comments. I try to keep back to all your comments. I appreciate everybody hitting that subscribe button, give me that thumbs up. Stay tuned for that one we have coming on the Orient that we'll be doing at the end of next week. Dropping next week. That is my very first Orient I've ever owned. Going to the background of that one. I'm going to wear it for a week to get my total feel of what I think of it. But if there's any other watches you'd like me to review, or if you have any other clomage watches that you think are worthy of a review or you'd like me to review, let me know. I'll see about getting my hands on one and doing a review of it. But I want to thank you for watching this video. Thank you for the continued support. We do appreciate it. We do thank you. We bless you. We thank you every day for watching and tuning into our show. We're trying to put better content every time. So you all stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you next week.